Welcome everybody to another episode of Motivations. The season finale of Motivations. And what a better way to end the season than with a little bit of a shitstorm that I believe this will turn into with my good pal and journalist friend, Jack O'Brien. Oh, you guys can't even frickin' see me. Hold on. This is actually good because I didn't set up my green screen. Don't talk to me. Oh my god. Okay, let's just sit. Perfect. Oh, Totally professional. Totally. Jesus. I hope everybody's having a splendid day. And an even better week than me, because as you can tell, this is not the best. My wall's falling down. You guys don't see a problem, right? Okay. Wait. All right. Hold on. I gotta reset. Mental reset. Because that was some dog shit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Motivations. Today is the season finale of Season 1. We have had a hell of a lot of guests on, but I think this one is going to be very unique. Because he is in the healthcare journalism field, which is very interesting. And he has definitely had his fair share of... I don't even know. I had to, rush all of this shit. This is hopefully not going to be as scuffed as Brian's was. Brian, if you're listening, it was scuffed. It was scuffed. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further introductions, I give you Jack O'Brien. Jack!
Silentest intro ever.
Yeah, my wall fell down.
Yeah, I gathered that. I can see.
Yeah.
I hope everyone on this... Are they seeing something other than a green screen?
Yeah, they're seeing Toy Story, the wallpaper in not Sid, but the other kid's room.
Andy.
Yeah, the lesser important character.
The one who quits on the toys.
Yeah, the one who was like, I don't want to play with you anymore, then goes off to college. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
We don't fuck with Andy. We're Sid fans over here.
I'm glad I figured out pretty quickly of whether you could curse on this show or not.
Oh, yeah.
Having never watched an episode before, by choice.
Good. Yep, that's what I expect my friends to do. That's my friend.
Well, friends also like to be presented as the season finale of a series when it really just means, oh yeah, I haven't invited any of some of my friends on the show until late in the season. But it's a good spin zone. I appreciate the way you reframe that.
Hey, I mean, there's one way to end the season. It's with realizing that your friends have jobs and that they would be just as important to have on a show. And
not even that your friends have jobs, that you asked two friends in a group chat, and one of them said they couldn't talk about their job, and the other was like, sure, I guess I won't make them go 0 for 2 in this group chat.
You literally threw me a freaking pity invite, and I hate it.
I did, but I'm happy to be here. I hope you enjoy my mood lighting.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I have a candle and everything going just for you. Let's talk.
Is that Jesus? Is that a Jesus candle?
No, this is one I got. It's jasmine. Like the scent, not the character.
Well, Zach Bennett said that the candle's doing nothing for the smell of your apartment. Anyway, Jack, welcome. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. I'm glad that if anybody in my friend group is going to be Joe Rogan, it would be you. And somehow you're more problematic.
I mean,
Zach is only like Joe Rogan in the sense that they're bald, short men who are angry all the time.
And just spitting nothing but lies. Forcing people to do shit they don't want to, like drink Bumble.
Yeah, I don't know what vaccine Zach got, but it was he definitely has taken hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin before.
I mean, the kid's a fucking horse, so. Anyway, Jack, before we start ripping into our friends that aren't here, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I'm a Capricorn. What do you want to know about me? You know so much about me. What should I be sharing? What do I do?
Yeah, what you do as a job, what you do like as a hobby.
Sure.
Where you live, the last 4 of your social, credit card number, zip code.
You've caught me at an interesting moment in my life, Hancock, because I'm actually switching jobs. I, up until last August, was in healthcare media writing for a magazine, and then I went to the dark side, quote unquote, of PR, and now I'm coming back to do reporting and do journalism stuff, the good side.
Well, thank God, because I forgot that I didn't know that you were in PR. I was going to ask you journalist questions.
You were promoting it.
I'm just promoting your new job.
That whole checking in with friends thing comes in handy when you check in with your friends.
Hey man, we don't do any proofing here. This is just,
I can tell,
straight to the books.
You also tweeted out then there is no way I'd rather have then, and it should have been than. But again, no copy editing on the show.
If I had more characters in my tweet, I put friend in quotes, just so you know.
1 quote or 2 quote marks?
2 quotes.
I'm glad I can become your English teacher on this stream.
You are the only English teacher I have in my life right now.
I want to see how many people hop off because they're like, oh, wait, he's a normie. He doesn't even know what Cowboy Bebop is.
Zach Bennett literally just said, I don't like this interview.
Ask me a question. I work in healthcare media.
Okay.
What do you know about healthcare media?
Fucking nothing. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Claire O'Brien said PR is not the dark side. Interesting. Guys, hold your questions until the end, and then we'll answer them all at once.
How have you ever talked to an executive of a hospital or a health insurance company?
Not about their position, but I have talked to the board of Glens Falls Hospital.
What did you say to them?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, I'm sure they really appreciated that.
Yeah, they send me Christmas cards every year.
Oh, that's good. Were you born? Wait, this is me flipping the card. This is how I gained control of the interview. Were you born in Glens Falls Hospital?
No, I was born in Albany. You think I was going to be born in Glens Falls?
I mean, some of the blessed ones here have been born in Glens Falls Hospital, so I was just more curious than anything.
No, there's more death in Glens Falls Hospital.
How many drinks do you have? Good Lord.
I was drinking a milkshake that I got, and now I'm drinking water out of my Space Cat cup.
Wow.
We can't spend a lot of money here in this multi-million-dollar studio that I rent out every month.
Yeah.
So I'm really trying to pay the bills off with this interview, but clearly it's not going well. Holy shit.
You thought this was going to be a rating sweep at the end, and you didn't know that was just going to tank it.
Can I be honest? I was like, how are we going to go? I was like, is this going to start off with just being a scuffed conversation where you're going to do nothing but just talk shit all day? Or is this going to be like Jim Sock first ad as Stewart's? Can you imagine? Maybe I can finally get this multi-million-dollar studio rent paid. But yeah,
you get my rent first.
Yeah. All right, you know what? No, I'm going to take control of this interview. This is my fucking show.
Go for it.
So, because a lot of these questions I actually don't know, or you told me and I forgot,
I'm
Really?
like, I like how our conversations truly lead to nowhere.
Yeah.
Ask me one of them. Ask me any and all of them.
All right, fine.
That was a well placed slurp right there. Well placed. Could have run an ad in that slurp.
Yeah, I could have gone a whole 30 seconds. Um, where were you the night that John Bennett Ramsey died?
Do you want to know something? Her name's John Benet. And you said it like it's Zach's last name. So I won't be answering that question. And I am so happy that that happened. That was incredible.
All right. Well,
You went at that name phonetically. I am impressed.
hey, say how it's spelled, you know? I need to know because I truly don't. You know, who and or what made you get into the field that you're in?
So I went to SUNY New Paltz, a little public school in the Hudson Valley. You might have heard of it. Go Hawks. And I originally went in as an international business major because I had done business classes at our high school, Queensbury High School, go Spartans. And turns out I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at business. I went into New Paltz and I took a couple business courses and was like fine at like the general like leadership stuff, like strategy. And then I took accounting, and that was hell. I remember an accounting professor came into my class one day, and he put down a pop quiz, 10 questions, and he says, if you really know your stuff, this shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes. And I looked at the first 3 questions. You know how you do with a test where you're like, I don't know that one, but maybe the next one, and then I'll circle back to it. I didn't know any of them. And so I literally just grabbed a piece of paper. I went up to the professor. I was like, I need to change my major. And I walked out. And so I remember in high school, I had always done well in like English classes and social studies. We didn't have a school paper at Queensbury because of the recession, but at New Paltz, I took a creative writing class, and one of my professors was like, you're the only business major in this class. All the other ones are like literature or something to do with English. And I was like, oh, and he's like, and you're really good at writing. And I was like, thank you. And he was like, I would just consider that. And I was like, okay. Sucked at accounting. I was like, I should change that. And so I did. And I'd always read like our hometown paper. I'd always watched the news as a kid. You knew me at a different time in my life when I was a little more newsy, I guess, a little more class president-y.
Yeah, you
And
did single-handedly carry the Chronicle
I did.
out
The
of
Chronicle,
bankruptcy.
who once compared Andrew Cuomo to Vladimir Putin, which is a choice. That was a choice that they made, and it's one of those freezing cold takes. But yeah, that was kind of my, I guess, not even inspiration, but just like knowing that I could probably do this.
Mhm.
It did take convincing my parents, because my parents were like, "Hey, business is like a career, and journalism is like
A hobby.
yeah, not like a time where newspapers are going out of business, and it's just not the same as it was 30 years ago."
Yeah.
So I convinced them, and then I joined the school paper in college, and I started off as a copy editor. And by the time I graduated, I was the editor in chief, and we had interviewed our local congressman. We had broken a story about an immigrant in our community that had been jailed for a pot possession charge over a decade earlier because Trump was in office and they were cracking down on illegal immigrants and people with outstanding records. So yeah, I kind of went from like, oh, I can write, this would be a cool thing, to being like, oh wait, this has like an actual civic purpose and I can actually use my words in a way that impacts the community at large. Isn't that heartfelt? Isn't that so sincere?
No, I mean that's very heartfelt, and I appreciate you calling that out. You know, I think that was very genuine, and I'm very glad.
My humility is next level.
Do you think that your storytelling class in college helped you with your ability to become a journalist?
My storytelling class is one of the best grades on my college transcript. I'll never apologize for
I mean,
it.
I would hope so.
A lot of people are funny when they go to college because they're like, especially in the SUNY system, where it's like a lot of every SUNY school has its own very distinct identity. And like Oswego and Cortland are very like bro, gym, like athletic heavy. And then you have like the New Paltz's and Fredonias that are very kind of like artsy fartsy. And New Paltz, being able to take a storytelling class where I got a 98 and did 3 assignments all semester, it kind of speaks to that. So yeah, shout out Ann Golding. She was a great professor.
Oh, Yeah, that's shout out to her, man. Good for her.
Wait, can I tell you a story that somebody told in that uh, class?
Yeah.
We had to come in and tell like an old fable, and a guy goes in there. He's like, "There's an old Irish fable where a guy's sitting in a bar, and he goes, I, he goes, you see that fence out there? I built that fence all by my own. I got all the materials and I built the fence. But they don't call you Henry the fence maker. And you see this bar we're sitting in? I built it brick by brick with my own hands, cement and everything. They don't call you Henry the bar maker. And you see that well out there? I dug it all the way up. Got the water to flow, put the bucket and everything. But they don't call you Henry the well maker. But you fuck one goat. A kid said that
This
in
was
class.
not. I was saying this was not in class, was it? No way.
It was. He was. And the teacher said, that's just another great example of Irish wit. And I was like, shout out Ann Golding. Let's go. I'm never going to be able to fail class.
Oh my God.
So yeah, going back to the original question, that was something that inspired me, at least got me going in this. And then from college, I had to actually make it happen.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I think like shout out to Honey Badger and your dad.
Yeah.
I just want to point out his mom is not a honey badger. That's just her name.
That's right.
Yeah, her whole identity is Honey Badger. She's in my phone as Honey Badger O'Brien. But I do have to ask because you said that it was.
By the way, and I guarantee you, there is no way she's watching this.
Yeah, you don't know. I told her I was going to talk to you today.
Oh, cool.
That's it. That's as far as I went. Yeah, we had drinks and hung out and took pictures and talked about houses and we really focused on her that day. With you bringing up your parents and stuff, like they had like do a little bit of convincing. It kind of circles back to my next question. I was just, what's the most difficult hurdle you had to overcome? Not even. It doesn't even have to be about your job or anything. Just in general.
My biggest hurdle I've had to overcome, I think. That's a good question, Hancock. It's broad yet vague. I like it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's what we like to do. Open-ended questions.
Another thing that people like to do, and I'm doing it right now, is saying, that's a good question, because then it buys you more time to think about your answer to the question, but it makes you sound like you're not just puttering along in your brain, which is what I'm doing now.
And I think what else it does, too, is it also allows you to even go for a little bit further than that and go, oh, man, that's a really good question.
Yeah.
And then just like keep saying it until you figure it out, right?
Yeah, because then that would be giving you undue credit, and I'm not about to do that.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I get that.
One of the biggest things that I had to overcome, I would definitely say that coming out of college and not having a job immediately, I had to go down to DC for an internship that I had, which was unpaid, which are the worst kind of internships. And so there's a kind of betting on yourself that you do where it's basically like, I'm going to spend money in the hopes that I will then be making money, which I did. I came out of the internship with a job, and that led to another job. And, here I am at a point in my career where I'm very happy. But at that time, like that 6 to 8 weeks I was in DC, the hottest part of the time in DC, where the sun just turns into a mother. I'm not even going to curse, but it's just like, yeah, it's, heavens to Betsy.
Did you not just say fuck a goat and then you're like, I'm not gonna curse?
I blacked out during that story.
Oh, right.
I didn't even remember it. Kids watch.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, no, that was something. I think that's something that but like that's not unique to my own situation too. I think there are a lot of people that come out of college and like they are just
keep talking. I'm gonna get some water.
What?
I'm gonna get some water. Keep talking.
Oh, great. Yeah, let me just talk to the empty stream. Can he still hear me? I bet he can't. Ah, damn. I feel like I should get water and just leave this completely empty. I wonder if we had 0 people watching. That'd be great.
We actually had the highest viewership than any other Motivations episode ever.
Oh, really? There's no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. But I do want to know, where were you on January 6th, 2021?
I was in my apartment in Lawrence, Massachusetts, watching the country fall apart.
Fantastic. I was in my apartment in Glens Falls watching the country fall apart. I was just wondering if you've ever felt burnout with your position, because you did say that you went from journalism to PR and back to journalism.
Yeah, I did.
Hmm.
I I loved my company that I had worked for, and I gave everything to that company. And I just kind of got in that rut where I was like, I'm just not getting to the place I want to be, and just doing the same thing over and over again and working from home. I've been working from home since March of 2020, and a lot of people like it because you get to lounge around your pajamas and stuff, and it's very comfortable. But at the same time, it's like, damn, I liked being in an office, and like we had a beer cart that every Thursday you could just go to the office and get a beer and just chop it up with people. Like we used to do fantasy football and celebrate people's birthdays, and it's like it was just kind of missing all of that. And I was like, okay, I want to try something new. I want to try going to PR. There was a pay raise involved, which is not for nothing.
That's what PR stands for.
But yeah, what?
That's what PR stands for.
Pay raise.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's clever. You just come up with that?
I mean, yeah, it's when
You're
you're
quick.
talking when you're
You're
talking to
quick.
somebody who, is just blowing smoke out your ass, then I mean, like, you got to come up with quick things like that to kind of keep things entertaining. Do
That's
you
why they
have an
call you
end goal?
Hancock.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
They call you-
I have to ask. I was very tempted when I like rebranded from Fat Boy, which was the worst name I could have given myself. I was really tempted to do Waffle Iron Hancock. I was super tempted. Or Pop Rocks. I think Pop Rocks was like the big one. But
I think the thing that's really throwing me in this interview is I don't know how sincere to be, because it goes from, have you ever experienced burnout? What were your biggest challenges, to where were you on January 6th and Waffle Iron? That was a pretty good one, right?
I mean, hey,
It's like
we're all
boxing. It's very much like boxing.
we're all over the place, So we're not professional. We got no sponsors, and if you're here, like the video and subscribe to the channel because I fucking need it. Internet points.
You're like that R. Kelly video. It's like,
Don't ever compare me to R. Kelly.
I'm out here fighting for my life.
Sick and tired of this. Oh man, okay, I gotta stop. I'm getting warm. So with you working from home and stuff, and then going back into the office, I mean, there's a totally different change of pace, I think, too, with how you go without your day. And I'm just kind of curious as to like with working in the office now and working from home, like where do you find that motivation to kind of like wake up and like every day and like perform your like work, like perform your job? And
Yeah,
money's not a good answer.
I'll break it up into two. One, I do love journalism. I love reporting, and I love talking to important people about things that matter, seeing my work published, seeing people appreciating my work. I do appreciate that. That's what gets me out as it relates to work in a professional sense. What gets me out of bed every day is a very vain desire to not be fat. And I'll relate that back to you and some friends that I have in my life who, when I've gained weight in the past, have been not very nice in terms of pointing it out. And so every day, whether I used to run, now I get up and I go on my walks, or I do yoga, I do anything that gets me active and closes all three rings on this little Apple Watch here, because I know that if I don't, I get called chunk and fat. And even when I do lose weight, I get called bones. That's what gets me out of bed in the morning.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that I'm able to motivate you to get up every day. That's all. I'm glad that I'm your main source of motivation to get up and go for a walk every day. Good job.
You would think that I'd be lying, but I'm not. My feelings are very fragile. You can ask my therapist.
Yep. Luckily there's a patient,
which is why I'm doing the streaming.
Yeah, I mean, I trauma dump on everybody that I talk to.
I'm aware. We've had some very nights, Hancock. Not even intoxicated nights, just very sad sober nights.
Some nights I stay up, crashing in my castle.
You didn't know all the words of that song. What's the next question? Back in the now.
If there is one thing that you would like to go back and tell your past self, what would it be?
Watch out for that tall kid with the glasses. His name's Tyler Hancock.
Bitch, I'm coming.
He's gonna make you do a streaming show. If I could tell, I would tell myself to chill out and relax and realize
So
that
your heart thing doesn't act up.
if some hard thing doesn't act up, no, I would tell myself that trying to emulate Paul Ryan at the age of 16 isn't really a cool way to make friends or meet girls. That would probably be some very sage life advice. I would say that Mitt Romney is not going to save the world.
Paul Ryan does not have sex. I have to tell you. Paul Ryan does not get bitches. There's no.
You don't have to think that all girls want to hear about supply side economics, because they don't. They just want to like not talk about that ever. Just be a normal 6.
They want to do the opposite. They would rather talk about nothing and sit in silence.
Exactly. I would go back and say that Jeb Bush is not going to even win one primary in 2016. So don't yourself. Those would be the pieces of life advice I would impart to myself.
Did you find it really hard to do your job when you were working from home?
At times, yeah.
Yeah.
I had back in Lawrence, I had 2 neighbors below me that were quite fond of crack and cocaine, and so like I'd be doing an interview and I just hear them fighting and screaming and throwing things, and like that gets distracting after a while. And I don't know if you remember, I think a lot of people had this experience. It wasn't unique to just Lawrence, but like when everyone got obsessed with fireworks in like July 2020. Mm-hmm. There was like that spree across the country. Everyone's like, where'd everyone get the fireworks? And like, that would just happen. I remember doing an interview and like some kid let off a bottle rocket right outside my door. And I was like, it's 2 PM. You can't even see the explosion. Like, what are we doing here? So yeah, it's difficult in that way before you even get into like the actual working things. It's just like, oh yeah, like not being distracted. That's a distraction.
Yeah. I mean, maybe for some, but you know, not everybody has to get distracted with their downstairs neighbors.
Some of us don't have downstairs neighbors.
Some of us have a 19-year-old that sleeps in the bedroom next to you.
That's true. How's he doing?
He's working. Yeah, so I guess like with working from home, it being a little bit more difficult with the distractions and stuff. Obviously I've known you long enough, but I think that I still want to, ask the question of, would you say that you like really heavily feed off the energy of others, or do you find kind of like a self-motivation outside of people kind of being a source of energy and inspiration for you?
I'd say it's both. Because I do a lot of things that are solitary. Like when I used to run long distance, that's a very solitary thing that I do. I like to garden and plant, so that's something that you can do by yourself. Like I like to do things that are alone. I think writing is a very solitary process, but I also like being in a kind of newsroom setting where you're talking to other people, getting their, their input and their takes and stuff. And I think that that's kind of the fun thing, is being able to interview people over the phone. It's just like when everything is over Zoom and the phone and stuff, you kind of lose that interaction. I think really does drive a lot of human behavior. I think we're never going to go back to what we had before the pandemic in that sort of way, but like, there's still camaraderie and being around people and all that sort of stuff. That never goes away. You've been on sports teams. You know how it is to feed off the energy.
Be a bro and yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it is to like be a team member and be tough, and it's the sense of camaraderie. It's really good. It's really
You're doing a really good job.
Thank you. It's really good. It's really good. It is. It's really. You know what I have a lot of problems with is I have a really tough time, and I don't do it anymore. But like when I do like hangouts with like my friends on Discord and stuff, and we're like doing like drinking games and stuff, it is so different.
Yeah,
because I get up to go to the bathroom and I forget that I don't have 8 people in my room want to hanging out.
Yeah,
just nothing but dudes just wanted to hang out in a small room. Instead,
you remember at the start of the pandemic where everyone was doing like, oh, we're gonna do Zoom happy hour, because again, we all thought it was gonna be like
that shit was so depressing.
It was so depressing. At the start, we were all like, oh, I'm cracking a beer, like,
oh, it's 4 p.m. I should be working, but I'm drinking instead.
And I remember there was a point in like late April 2020 where I woke up on like a Friday after we did one of those, like through The Office or something, and I just remember being like, oh, this sucks so hard, because like the whole idea is like, oh yeah, we're eventually going to get back to like seeing those people in person, and we're never going to. Like now we can because we're vaccinated and the world's getting somewhat back to normal. But like it took 2 years. That's a long time. It's a lot of that's a lot of like nights thinking about it and days.
Oh, yeah, it's
That's the thing too. You talk about what's hard working from home. It's not even hard working from home. It's just the sense that like you're experiencing existential dread all the time because you're living in a moment in history that sucks. That's not a good moment in
dude,
history.
I would love to just be like, yeah, nothing happened. Nothing
Yeah.
happened this year. Not a
But you're
goddamn thing.
like you're gonna have kids at some point in your life. You're gonna talk to them and be like, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, like what were those 2 years like?" And it'll seem like a blip because that was 2 years out of all the years you've lived. But then you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, like in the moment,
It was
like
nothing like the recession of '08, I'll tell you that.
yeah." That's the thing too. When they were like I remember when the economy was falling like by the hour, and I was talking to some executive, and they're like, "Yeah, I haven't seen any like thing like this since '08, and to be honest, probably since '87." And I was like, "Buddy, I wasn't even alive in '87.
I wasn't
I
even
was
thought about in '87.
yeah." I was 13 in '08, and all I saw was my parents say that we couldn't go on vacation for like the next 2 years.
We went to Maine once and they're like, never again.
We literally the summer of '07, we went on 2 vacations, a rarity in our family. In the summer of '08, we stayed home. So
Jesus Christ.
and the summer of '09 and the summer of '10.
Oh, so I know that, we know what motivated you to get into your field of journalism, but
Yeah,
what did anything really draw you towards like the healthcare field?
they were hiring.
Okay, so if you had any advice for someone who was looking to get into your field or hobby, what would it be?
That's not the entire reason. There were other things I applied for, but they were the ones that got back the quickest. I think healthcare is really interesting because I think it's something that we all interact with every single day.
Mhm.
We all have our own individual healthcare story and our own experiences with it. So I think it's really easy to come at it from that way. I think a lot of other things are harder to learn if you write for a magazine that writes about cars and you don't drive a car or you don't care about cars, you're not going to care. But if you've ever been to the doctor's office, there's a really easy way to be like, oh, I'm going to learn more about that because I have my own experience with the doctor and stuff. So I think if anybody ever wants to get into anything healthcare related, specifically media, you really have to bring your own experience in with you, and then that's kind of your way to learning more about the industry and asking questions along the way too.
What's one question you wish you asked about your field before you got into it?
I would ask why we still have a predominantly for-profit fee-for-service system and why that hasn't changed. Because nothing will change your view on the healthcare system more than once you start paying into it. I'm a firm believer in that. I had a whole different view of it when I was a teenager because that wasn't my insurance. I didn't have to care. Now, when I'm paying deductibles and co-pays and premium and all these things to consider, you're like, like
Man, this conversation would have been so fun with 16-year-old Jack.
exactly. A 16-year-old Jack, a lot like those TikToks that you see where it's like me, a 16-year-old going up to a mother of two on the poverty line, being like, "You just have to work harder."
So
Like that's
most people these days don't even want to work. Just like get up off your ass and work.
exactly. That's a very Kim K thing, but like that's a real consideration, and it's a real thing that I've seen. Even before the pandemic, but now I feel like everyone's more aware of it because public health has been on the top of people's minds for the past 2 years. I don't know anybody that doesn't think about their health and their health care like our generation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people, especially now, after if there's one thing that I think Trump did in a positive way, it was to it made a lot of people in the younger generation realize like, hey, I need to get more involved in this because this isn't good.
Yeah. And I think that even carries over to the other side. Obviously,
Yeah.
coming from the town that we grew up in, there are a lot of Trump people. And, I can't convince them otherwise, but it's electrified them in the same sort of way, which is kind of interesting just because it's obviously it's energized a lot of people on the left, I would say, and even in the
Mhm.
middle, but a lot of people on the right too that are like, this is the guy. It's kind
Yeah.
of like I guess Reagan was around, but
Mm.
isn't this
Oh
fun? We
man.
steered it right back to civics and social studies. Our teachers would be so
Oh
proud.
my god, I know, right? Let me get back to where I wanted to go. So what if you had to look back, at your life, while you were in this field of work,
Yeah.
what was like the one experience in your like career? I mean, that really made you realize like this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. This is it. I've
Uh,
peaked.
I've peaked. I remember into the 2018 midterm cycle because the first year I was there, we were kind of rebranding as a magazine and trying to figure out editorial duties. And I got assigned finance. I didn't really know a whole lot about healthcare finance, but when the midterms were coming around, I was like, why don't we start interviewing healthcare leaders and like healthcare related people that are running for office? Because that'll be a good tie-in. We can tie it into the midterm coverage. They're leaders. They're speaking to leaders. And I interviewed about a dozen different candidates, both on the left and right. And like I interviewed former HHS Secretary Donna Shalala. I interviewed Lauren Underwood, who is a congresswoman in Illinois in like the 5th district. I interviewed just people that had these great credentials. Phil Bredesen, who ran for governor of Tennessee, but he founded one of the largest healthcare companies in America. And that was a moment where I was like, okay, I don't fully understand healthcare the way I probably would like to at this point, but I'm learning, and I'm learning how I can use my abilities to tie into that. That was something where it was like a light bulb click.
Okay. And kind of the opposite question of that, what is the worst thing you've ever done in your life?
The worst thing I've ever done in my life. Um,
Remember, your sister did send your mom the link to this YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's right. I got to be very careful about how I do that. The worst thing I've ever done in my life.
Can I answer it for you?
I'm worried, but yeah.
Cookies aren't fucking candy.
Oh damn. Was this really the setup you were going for to get? You were going to backdoor into this?
No. I really wanted to see what you would say, but you were wasting too much of my fucking time.
I don't think that was a bad take either. I think that was a take that I made in jest at a party, and I think people lost their minds. It wasn't even intentionally trolling. Like I had to lean into it after the fact, but at the time I was like, "Why is everyone being so mean about it?"
Did you I need to know. Like, did you actually like genuinely feel like a lot of like unnecessary criticisms for that article?
It was more than I was expecting. Because I've said like shitty, like just like rattle the cage things before. You knew me when I was a teenager, and it was like, oh yeah, you guys want universal health care?
Yeah,
like,
you were praying for Nancy Reagan to come to town or something. We're fucking weird, man. I don't know why I talked to you in high school.
She was a great first lady, and for no other reason about Nancy Reagan. But yeah, no, like I didn't expect it to take off the way it did, but then you have to lean into it. And then some people still like bring it up, like you bring it up and other people. And some people like I bring it up and they're like visibly annoyed. And I'm like, okay, I can't bring it up around them because they're going to get actually mad about this. The worst thing I've ever done in my life, I once cheated on a medieval Europe test because I didn't know who Charlemagne was.
Charlemagne the God, isn't he a rapper?
He is a rapper. No, he's the host of the Breakfast Club. You dunce.
Oh, is he's the one that like, is he the short guy?
He's the bald guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who says like a bunch of like out of pocket shit like all the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to turn it over to my chat because they seem like they want to ask a couple of questions. I guess we can start it from the top here. Frankie said, "What's up with the blood pillow?"
The blood pillow. Oh, that's
Is that a shirt?
That's a blanket intersplicing two pillows. That's an optical illusion. A trick, they would say.
Okay, I got that. Frankie, I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Frankie asked, "Where is your job?"
My new job will be in New York City.
Okay. Yeah, Frankie, I hope that works for you. Bennett said, "We only have one question. Where was he the night John Benet Ramsey died?" Yeah, that's fine. We already heard that one. Let's see what else we got here.
I was hoping you were going to say again.
John Bennett. LOL, Jack was the only conservative Republican at New Paltz. True. Bennett just said fat. That doesn't mean anything. Michael wanted to know if you were still stuck in the staircase.
Wait. So I meant to text Michael this yesterday. Because I've been moving stuff out of my apartment into a storage unit during my ongoing move, and I got out of the elevator, realized I was on the wrong floor, and was like, "Oh, I can just walk down the stairwell." So I went in the stairwell, and then I tried to open the first floor door to get out, and it was locked. So I was like, "Oh, I'll go up to the second floor." locked, third floor, fourth floor. So I was locked in the elevator. I knocked until the guy on the first floor opened it up. He's like, you could have just pushed the other door open. He's like, the alarm wouldn't have gone. I'm like, well, I didn't know. So I did get locked in the elevator again, and it's also my favorite voicemail ever.
Fantastic. I can't.
That's your theme song.
Every time that I hear that fucking voicemail, it's not often, but when I get it, oh man, it's good to hear.
Sometimes Michael's out of the blue, and I can't say no.
He's got those zingers, man. Let's see. Chris Johnson said, "Do you think you'd still be Republican if you didn't go to New Paltz?"
Probably no, because you have to live in like the world, but I don't know.
I think that's actually a very genuine question too. Chris coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know, Bennett asked me where you were when Charlemagne the God died, and stupid shit, and Chris is like, "Wait, Republican?" Question mark.
The thing that's interesting is I the other school that I was considering other than New Paltz was Hofstra, and like there is that streak of Long Island that's like very Republican. Like they have Lee Zeldin in office, who's going to be the Republican gubernatorial candidate. So like maybe, who knows? But like I went to New Paltz, and like the first weekend I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna change. I'm gonna metamorphosize into a beautiful butterfly, and I came out with a goatee.
Oh Jesus, I forgot about that goatee.
Don't you miss it? Now I'm clean shaven. I smell like aftershave.
Yeah. I actually have. I forgot this one question that I have. How much of an inspiration was Crisis Press while you were going through school to decide the direction of your career?
It helped, and sometimes I miss it. I texted Mike when Ukraine was being invaded at the start, and I was like, "This would have been a perfect day for Crisis Press."
Dude, I was like going through my Twitter followers on like my original Twitter account that I still look at but don't use, and I was still following Crisis Press back in like 2019, and I was like, "What is this shit?" I was like, "I gotta."
Related to your Twitter followers, does the game still follow you?
The game does still follow me.
That's really impressive. I tell people that on occasion when they're like, "Who's a random Twitter follower you have?" I'm like, my buddy, his first follower was the game.
Was the game? I don't know if he was my first, but he was in my top like 10. Hold on, I got it. Oh, I don't have my other Twitter account on my computer. That's fine. But yeah, the game still follows me on Twitter, and I still follow the game.
No members of G Unit follow me. That's a real shame.
Looks like you ain't a real G, homie.
Why is Lloyd Banks not following me?
Honestly, it's probably my fault. I told the game to make sure that nobody else would follow you. That's part of G Unit. So he said, "Don't worry about it," and then sent me a smiley face and a kiss emoji. I don't know what that was about, but
do you think 50 Cent looked fat at the Super Bowl?
Dude, I thought he actually looked pretty good. I thought he looked
all for. I thought it was out of pocket.
Yeah, I thought he maybe he looked a little chunky, but not like in like a holy shit you fat ass. Like he looked like built. He just looked like filled out. I'm trying to like he looked bigger, but he didn't look fat.
Yeah, isn't it nice when some of your friends can just like get bigger and not get fat, and then you don't have to say anything about it?
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, Bennett said good, hide that leg thing. Oh, we're talking about when we were talking about you going back to the office. Chris said he has to wear pants again.
I do have to wear pants again. The first time I went in the office in 2020 after the pandemic broke and I was wearing pants, I felt like I was going to ascend to heaven. I was like, this is a whole different feeling.
Let's see. Oh, Pop is here. Yeah, that's another question too. Where do you think your life would be if you weren't dating Pop?
Worse. Demonstrably worse.
Good.
In every single way.
Good. Other questions do we have?
Remember when you thought her name was Bear?
No, I thought her name was Al. I thought no. So here's no. Fuck no. Okay, here's what happened. Right. First off, I wasn't on my Adderall at the time, so my brain was going everywhere. It was basically like, do you remember Sky High?
I do remember Sky High.
Remember that one dude's superpower who would just melt?
Yeah.
That was my brain every day. Yeah, you were talking about Bear, and then Alexandra started talking about Bear, and I thought that she was talking about her cat, And then you said her name. And so in my head, I was like, oh, immediately after you said your name, is that your cat? You want to hear the worst part? It happened again.
Yeah, you did tell. You told me this, but tell it for people that may not have heard this story because it makes me laugh.
So I was talking to my friend Brian, who was on episode 2 of the Motivations series. And
that was Brian Williams, right?
Yeah. So he fucking hate you. He told me that he couldn't hang out because he had to go hang out with his girlfriend Ting. Never heard that name before in my life. So I thought that he was talking to about his cat. And I said, "Oh, you scheduled time to hang out with your cat?"
At least you're consistent, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about the cats, right? Like I don't say like, "Oh, is that your dog?" Like
no, we should always have more cats in the world than people. I agree.
Oh, Chris has a good question. Has Jack read the book Anti-Racist Baby?
I have not.
Who's that by?
That was the book that Ted Cruz referenced yesterday during the Supreme Court hearing. I actually was going to ask you if you think they teach critical race theory in Sky High.
Ooh,
that'd be a good Twitter poll.
Can I be honest? You want me to do it? Okay, I can do that. I don't think they do.
I think a lot of people haven't seen Sky High and therefore can't make a judgment.
So I think a lot of people should see Sky High. You talking about how Kurt Russell was in that fucking movie?
I said that earlier.
Did you? I couldn't hear you. God damn, I wish that was my hand.
It's a lot slimier than you would imagine.
Yeah. The reason why I would say no to Sky High having critical race, I just hard focus on the gym teacher. And we you know, right? Like when you see it, it's like when he's like segregating between heroes and sidekicks, like just not cool, man. Just like
I'm there to agree with you. Do you know that Walt Disney's last words were Kurt Russell?
No. But did you know that Kurt Russell's last words in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was, "Thank you, Walt Disney"? Without you, Marvel would be nothing.
I've actually never seen the second one, but I've heard it's great.
Claire asked, "Ask Jack when he made me shave my face as a kid."
We had a shaving accident when we were kids. There was a lot of blood.
Want to talk more about that, or?
Yeah, sure. Claire took a safety razor and she tried to shave her chin, and she actually cut her chin, like a big gash that started bleeding. And I was like, "Oh, you're just overreacting, being a little sister." And so I then tried to shave, and I also got cut right on the chin too. So then we're both bleeding like heavily because we both just jammed a razor in our chin. And then my mom runs in the room and like ghost white. She's like, "What is happening? Both of my kids are just bleeding out of their chins like profusely." And so we had to wear bandages on our chins the next week. That was fun.
Like the Grinch, like the Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Like Jim Carrey's The Grinch. Yeah, we all love Jim.
Claire asked. Claire just said Jack doesn't read. Okay, is that a choice, or is that because you don't know how?
Can it be both?
I mean, yeah, you could choose not to learn. That's fine.
That's true too.
Let's see. Oh, Chris said, "What has it been like moving to New York City right when things started opening up?" I'm pretty sure, didn't you move down there when things were like shutting back down?
No, so I moved in April of 2021. So things were just starting to open back up again. This last surge I lived through here, so that was when things were kind of shutting down again. I like Chris's questions. Chris should be the one asking these.
Yeah, can I ask you a question on top of that? Can you avoid doing any of Chris Johnson's pick me questions?
You'll just read them and I will just let them go.
Yeah, well, like, no, you can answer them, but like, I think that Chris is really fishing for a compliment here, being like, oh, it was cool, but not as cool as when my friend Chris Johnson moved down here. And like that's what I really don't want that because I don't want his head to inflate. You know, like if we could like keep it down to a minimum, that would be great.
Yeah, so answer it without being like praise. I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Without praising Chris Johnson, besides saying good question, to
I'll
like
tell
buy
you
more time.
I'll tell you this: when I moved down to New York, so I moved in on a Saturday, and I got my vaccine on Monday. I got Johnson & Johnson, which it works great. What a great vaccine! If you get to pick any of them, definitely get the one that works the best. You'll only get COVID 4 months down the line. So, I got my COVID vaccine, and like that first month and a half was like when New York really felt like it was popping again, and then Delta took off, and it was like, oh yeah, we're still not out of the woods. But that first month and a half, I'm
And
still
then when
chasing.
Delta, landed back down in the airport and the Delta variant grew, that was the shit show.
Yeah, that was a fun time, and having had Delta, oof, not great. I stuck my nose in a jar of minced garlic and got nothing.
So Katie woke up one day and asked me to come downstairs there because she said I can't smell or taste anything.
Yeah.
She ended up actually like psyching herself out. But we went downstairs and I gave her a spoonful of hot sauce at like 7:30 in the morning. I was like, let's test this.
Yeah.
Like, how much can you not actually like taste, right? Spoonful
What
of
kind-
hot sauce, I think it was. Frank's, if that's what you're gonna ask. It was just Frank's.
All right. Middle
Yeah, pretty low grade stuff, but if you put too much pepper on things, she's like spicy. And I'm like, oh god.
what does she do with it? She pats it off.
Yeah, like like a cat like cleans itself.
Yeah.
She does that, but like to get like the spice off. She's asleep, it's okay. Like the spice like off of her tongue.
I was gonna ask where she is when you do all of this, and I just got my answer. So
Yeah, she tries to sleep, but most of the time I talk too loud. But then she'll text me and be like, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to sleep. And then I calm down a little bit.
that's good.
Let's see. Oh, Claire asked, is Jack on Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I think I was always a team Jacob guy.
Yeah,
It's
me too.
close.
But then I saw the Batman, and I think I'm Team Edward now.
See, I have an interesting situation. I have not seen the Batman, but I did see Kristen Stewart as Princess Diana in Spencer. Weird movie, but she looks like Princess Diana. And I saw what's his name, Taylor Lautner, in that Kevin James movie where he plays Sean Payton.
Are you talking about the Saints movie, like the Saints football team?
Yeah.
Taylor
Yeah.
Lautner was in that?
Yeah, he plays like the high school coach that Sean Payton helps.
People
Yeah.
compare me a lot to Kevin James.
Oh,
I think it's because
damn.
we're both funny.
Yes. No,
Frankie said, what inspired the prison buzz cut?
The prison buzz cut. Alexandra was quarantined with COVID, and I thought I would do a fun thing.
Your fun thing wasn't like go for a run or do yoga, buzz your hair?
Everyone has their own idea of fun, Hancock. When are you going to buzz your hair? I like this little cowlick you have.
Oh, do you? It's actually, let's see if I can make it like, hold on. I'm not going to buzz my hair because I think I'm losing it.
It seems like everybody except me is losing their hair when it comes to my friends from home.
Well, you should lose some weight.
At least I have the option to lose. You can't even gain.
Sorry, what's up?
I said at least I have the option to lose. You can't even gain. I can.
Oh, I can gain.
You can't gain hair. You can't take what's here and put it here.
Fuck you. Let's see. Pop said, I dare you both to say one sincere thing you admire about each other.
Damn.
Okay. I'll go first. Hold on, let me think of something.
Okay.
It's a good question.
Do you want me to go while you're thinking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Nah, I need a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Fuck. Hold on.
Nope. You know how this works. Hello.
Hey man, I was just I had a tough question that my chat asked me. I'm streaming with Jack right now. I was
Oh my god, we're so delayed. Oh my god, hang on. I have to mute you.
yeah,
Who's
that's
that?
fine. It's Bennett. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm here.
Okay, I really need help. I was asked to say a sincere thing about Jack, but I'm really not. I don't know what to say.
Jeez. That's.
He's looked worse.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's generally improved over the years and only became a better person in some ways.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, all right. I think that's something good that I can go off of. Thank you, man. I can talk to you later.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, love you, bye.
In some ways, that's such a broad, disingenuous.
Yeah, I can go off of that. I like that leg thing hasn't transitioned into legs thing. I'm glad that
It's
you cover it most of the time.
It's happening slowly. If that makes you feel any better.
Fuck, Pop, I'm really trying here.
I'll do one, and
Okay.
I'll do an here one. I appreciate your loyalty as a friend and your tenacity in tough situations. Emotional damage registered 50 basis points.
Okay. Let me try this again then. Because apparently we're going in two different directions.
You have to go one. You got to veer.
Now I kind of turn around and shit. Forgot to drop my kid off at school or something. Jesus. I love how open you were to coming on to something that you apparently didn't watch whatsoever. You know, good friend. And just willing to roll with the punches and to go with it. I'm also glad that you know us calling you fat for damn near close to a decade, you know, has helped you. Um,
I didn't say it helped. I said it gets me out of bed in the morning.
I mean, if it helps, it helps. You know, I'm just glad that you know I can provide something for you. Um. Oh, here's another question we got. Sorry, Papa, it's over. What's your favorite shadow boxing technique, Jackie Browntown?
Jackie Browntown. I'm gonna guess that came from Dan Cowan. If I could guess. Shadow boxing. I'm always good for like a boom boom, and then you got to go like with a jab underneath, or like an uppercut. So.
Do you think Logan Paul should have won that fight against Floyd Mayweather?
I think he did. I think anyone that watched that fight would see very clearly that he dominated from end to end.
That's fair.
Was he the one to beat up Nate Robinson, or was that Jake Paul?
I think that was Jake Paul.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about just YouTubers fighting in general? Who do you think I could take on in a boxing fight?
You could take on that guy that lost to Logan Paul the first time. What's his name? He's like British, right?
I think you're thinking of Jake Paul because they fought each other the first time.
Yeah. Well, no. There was a guy. He's got like it's like letters and numbers. That's his name.
Oh,
like,
are you talking about KSI?
Yeah, him. You could beat him,
dude. Can I think,
brother.
Yeah, I think I could probably beat KSI.
Can I ask you this though? This is a genuine question because you're a tall man, big guy.
How's the weather up there? Fuck you, Jack.
When you go into a bar, do you ever have that moment where you like look around, you're like, I could take most of these people. Like if it came to like a roadhouse situation where it's like full on brawl, I could probably take most of these people, or at least handle my own.
So
like, I was the captain of the quiz bowl team and had a heart condition. I was never in that situation where it's like I can beat everyone's ass.
Yeah, you definitely did not come off as the confident type physically, or sexually. But you know, I yeah, back to me, right? And you know, I've learned as I've gotten older that I think I'm more of a defensive fighter than an offensive fighter. So it's not so much can I take people on; it's more or less can I survive.
Yeah. But you think your odds are pretty
Yeah, I think my odds are pretty good. I definitely do also walk into bars once in a while. Um, order one drink and then leave because I'm pretty expensive because I'm tall and fat and Kevin James-esque because I'm just so funny. Um, very kings of the queens.
I'm in Queens.
You're what?
I'm in Queens.
You're in Queens?
Yes, it's where I live.
You're way more like Kevin James than I am then. I mean, you're in
Because I'm
Queens,
so
you're
funny.
fat, you're
You're such a.
um but
That's where
no,
a regret if I had a time machine is that we could have gone back to high school and we could have campaigned for you for like whatever student body position and had it be King of Queensberry and put your face over Kevin James's
dude,
body.
I think I had a Facebook profile picture where it was Kevin James eating a banana during a tennis match. Like he had the tennis ball like in his like chest and he was like eating like stuffing a banana in his face.
Can I tell you a funny story from because I was on the tennis team in high school. We played a tennis match the day after they killed Bin Laden, and there was this senior on the tennis team who never started. He was literally just there for morale, and he used to
Mhm.
just say like inflammatory shit before matches. And he gathered all of us around in a circle, and we were playing like Gloversville or something, some no-name school. And he's
Of
like,
course.
"Boys," he goes, "last night was one of the greatest nights in American history." He goes, "They went out there and they killed the enemy, a long-awaited, grossly hated enemy." And then he points his tennis racket over the Gloversville kids, and he goes, "They are the enemy. Now shoot them through the eye."
What the hell?
And then we all just burst out to our matches, and like they obviously could hear it because he's the only one shouting at a tennis match, and we're like, he doesn't speak for us. Like you're you're also a person. You're also like a 16-year-old boy in upstate New York. So yeah,
um
that was a thing.
what are some questions that you have for me?
I first thank you for having me on the show.
Of
Big
course.
fan.
Of course.
First time, long time. Uh,
Big fan. Yeah, big,
what
huge.
what inspired this format? Because I'm obviously not as up to par with you in terms of like YouTube streaming etiquette, all that sort of stuff. So, what was the inspiration? Where did it come from?
So, do you mean streaming in general, or just like like this like talk show?
Let's do both. Let's do streaming in general, and then this particular segment.
Streaming in general, I thought about doing it in college, mostly because I was really into competitive Super Smash Bros. Melee,
Mhm.
and so there was a competitive melee comment. Sorry, I thought my cat was tearing down my wall. Was tearing down my wall. Um, there's a competitive melee commentator who started getting really big and started gaining a lot of traction streaming. Our good pal Ludwig, don't you fucking do it. I see you now. I thought I heard you.
Which one is this? Is that Holly?
Yeah. Hey, come and get her. Thank you. Oh wait, can you also give me some water? Because you love me.
Yeah,
I
after
can't.
this, we're doing a real life Am I the Asshole?
I'm not gonna do a real life. Am I the
No, I
asshole?
want to tell you a story.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why.
We'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, because I'm the asshole potentially in the story.
No, you are the asshole. There's not potentially. You are the asshole. Can you please give me some water?
I said hi, Kate.
Are you serious?
Because I didn't see. I only saw a head bob in. I was like, "Oh, hi, Katie." And it was like, "Oh, that's not Katie."
You're lucky he's 19. Um. So with streaming in general, yeah, there's a guy named Ludwig who started streaming. Thank you so much. Thank you for also taking the menace. My manager is not happy with me. I've been streaming for too long. It's okay. We're gonna continue because this is fun. So I was like, hey, I kind of said what a lot of other people said. I can do that. So
Yeah.
I
That's good.
I got on my laptop and started playing fucking Minecraft because I couldn't do anything else because my computer was a refurbished 2013 laptop.
Risk solutions.
Yeah, Rizzo Hancock IT Solutions could not have helped me there. There's no way. It was a lost
Do you
cause.
know if there's a parallel universe where you are in Germany and I'm talking to Rizzo on his streaming service?
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. I could have gone to fucking Germany.
Yeah.
What a waste of time. Um, I would rather
So
have the hair I have now than have Rizzo's hair that he has now. I
how
want his
did
beard, but I don't want his hair on his head because he doesn't have any.
how did this segment come to be?
Um. Oh yeah, sorry. I want to kind of continue going, and then we can get into this because
That's fine. No,
it's a shorter story up until then. Um. So I started streaming, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I didn't get um somebody coming into my Twitch chat talking to me about um like a community that they had, like a small like streaming community that they had.
Oh, okay. You say community is strange.
Yeah,
I heard.
I stumbled on the word.
Okay, that's fair.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
And from there I got involved with more people and I got um more invested into the streams and I started watching other people's streams and I thought that I could do better than them
Hmm.
and that
That's
like
fair.
um and then I just kept doing it and I started to slowly upgrade my shit and I got to a point where the first month that I streamed a total of I don't even remember. I think it was like upwards of like 60 to 80 hours in the month.
Hmm.
Um while
Long time.
working, yeah, while working full time and that all that good shit, that sweet shit. Um and yeah, then I took a hiatus from December to March. I probably wouldn't have picked it back up again if COVID didn't start because I was really busy and super depressed up until COVID. And then COVID started and then I interviewed for the job I have now. Then the day after, I lost the job that I had then. And then the day after that, I got the job that I interviewed for that I'm currently working at now. So I like really, I don't want to like brag, but I really finessed COVID. Um,
I'm glad somebody had a silver lining.
yeah, yeah, but like I had a 2 week period where I wasn't working at all, and I
Hmm.
was like, I really want to get back into it, but I want to go back into it with a couple of different thoughts. I want to go into it with the idea that I'm not good at video games. I think that they're fun, and I think that I can be funny with them. But
Hmm.
I would love to eventually come up with ideas outside of playing games. But I kind of put that in the back burner for now because I was like, I just kind of want to focus on just start trying it. And so I came up with a solid schedule that allowed me to avoid burnout for the most part. Because I was getting burnt out a lot. And yeah, I started streaming more consistently and schedule, and I got more people involved in a community that I was building, and kept upgrading my stuff. And now I have a full fledged camera. I have another webcam that I used to use that I'm using now for you to see me. I have 3 monitors, a PC, a mic, and now I'm at the point where I'm like, well, shit, I invested too much money into this. I like need to do something. So, I usually take a break for the month of December, and last December I kicked back the idea that I wanted to do something outside of gaming, something that I would enjoy doing that would allow me to kind of be in a more like uh less of a thought process that I have to entertain and more of a thought process of like I can be a little bit more serious.
Hmm.
Obviously with our interviews and stuff between our conversation because I've known you for so long and I know that what things that I can and things that I cannot say and things that I probably shouldn't say that I'm going to say anyway. Um there is room to be funny and there is room to have fun comments and fun asides, but I wanted it to be a little bit more in depth and a little more serious. And so the month of December that I took off, I didn't really even take it off. I built this multi-million-dollar studio that I rent out every month, and um, I started
A,
talking to people about
studio, a studio you built but you rent out.
yeah. Well, I sold it thinking that it was gonna go nowhere, and then like the week after I sold it, I started actually actively reaching out to people to talk to, and I got a lot of people that responded back to me. And I think this is also a great opportunity for me to network and also a good opportunity for me to kind of step out of my comfort zone and talk to people that I wouldn't normally talk to, like you and um like a couple other people that I have lined up. And yeah.
That's a tease season 2, folks.
Also off topic, but also on topic. A couple weeks ago, I was talking to Katie, and I was like, I love doing this, but I can also very seriously see myself being burnt out from even just this
Hmm.
because it's a lot of work kind of that goes into getting these conversations ready depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Um and so that's when, her and I kind of sat down and I was like, I need help kind of figuring out what I want to do. And that's when, we decided that I think the best idea is to kind of cut the bullshit and give myself a break where I don't need to do this. And so that's why I decided to do seasons. And I had
Hmm.
every week lined up since that conversation up to you. And then that's when I decided to cut it because I was like, I have nobody else lined up. I have things that I want to do outside of this, and I only give myself a true 2 other days a week of streaming, so I don't have opportunities to do it. And I want to be able to fill this slot with things outside of gaming, also that isn't this series, but I think that would still be something that I want to do. So things like I had Katie here 2 weeks ago, and we did you laugh, you lose challenge, but I had like 400 fucking TikToks to go through. And that was a lot of fun. I wanted to do stuff like that too. So this is more or less like a building block or like a stepping stone into me wanting to do more things similar
Hmm.
in this aspect of just chatting with people, getting to know people. Um, kind of, I really want to try and find a way to. I don't want this to sound kind of weird, but I don't want to I don't want to rely on video games to have people think that I'm funny or to think that I
Yeah.
can be or to think that I can be entertaining because I know that I'm more than that. I know my
Hmm.
worth,
You do know.
but yeah, that's pretty much it. I really enjoyed putting stuff out on the internet because I think that it's a hell of a time. I think it's a great opportunity to meet new people, to talk to people, and I like the idea of building a community and stuff like that. So that's a good one. Oh, Logs Blogs asked Jack, why do you think McDonald's Sprite is spicy?
So I actually don't like soda, so I don't
Yeah.
really know how spicy it is.
What What's your least favorite soda?
I don't know all of them. Like, I guess Dr Pepper because I don't understand. Like, I've had Coke, I've had decaf Coke before, and I like it. Same with decaf Pepsi.
You're not
Oh,
saying decaf Coke and decaf Pepsi, right?
yeah, no,
Like,
we had that in the house growing up, like
no, that's
decaf.
Diet Coke, you dumbass.
Well, whatever it is, like I don't.
It's a Diet Coke. It's not a decaf Coke. There's still caffeine in it. A Diet
No, no,
Coke.
no. We had Coke in the house that literally on the label it's decaf. They sell it. We had decaf Coke. I'm not here to blow your mind. That was something that's real. It's in the world.
Shut the fuck up. No way.
Yeah, it is. Look up decaf Coke.
Hold on, I'm going on the internet.
Oh, jeez. Where all great ideas come from.
Decaf
Yeah.
Coke. What the fuck? No, it's just Diet Coke. Wait, what?
No.
Caffeine-free Coca-Cola.
Yes. That's been
With
my
the gold label?
Yes, with the gold label.
Damn, you got money,
Yeah.
money.
That was not money. But that's my only experience with sodas. When I hear people talk about I've had a sip of a Baja Blast. You used to lose your mind about it when we would go to Taco Bell. It's never really done anything for me. It's not why I go to Taco Bell.
Why do you go to Taco Bell, Jack?
It's because I just love the customer service, and because sometimes I like to pig out. I saw you eat the cake burrito for the first time. That was a sight.
Dude, that's right.
I heard noises from you that I hope I never hear again.
Nah, don't lie to yourself.
I heard you make noises in the drive-through lane once when we were going through after a night on the town in downtown Glens Falls, and I was amazed that we didn't get yelled at by the drive-through lady because you were.
Were you in the car when Lawson, like, yeah, I think it was Michael's 20. No, was it Michael's 21st when we went to Taco Bell?
And it wasn't open, so we went to the McDonald's.
No, they said they had no beef.
Yes, that's right.
And,
So
I was in the backpack, and I was like, who the fuck? What kind of Taco Bell doesn't have fucking beef?
I remember when I was living in Massachusetts, the one on Quaker Road, like there was an electrical fire or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm reading the report, and I was like, thank God it's not the one by exit 18, because that is always the gold standard Taco Bell, just in my humble opinion. It's a great Taco Bell.
God bless Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Did they get rid of the Crunchwrap Supreme? Did they discontinue that? Is that what I saw?
No, that's still there.
Fucking TikTok lied to me.
Worry less.
Yeah, I know. We're kind of getting off topic here, huh?
I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry I can answer your question.
Anyway, I think that does it for me, Jack. I don't think I got anything else. If you don't have any other questions for me, then I think I'm gonna give you my third wish and free you, my genie.
I've one last question for you.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure being on here.
Thank you. That's not a question, though.
Did I do a good job?
Are you really looking for satisfaction right now? Are you like a... Jack, let me tell you something, okay? I think you have done as good of a job as I expected.
Nothing more, nothing less.
You
Did
Jack,
I wow?
You did not surprise.
I try and be as predictable and consistent as possible.
You are as consistent as white bread. You are always there. And I will always put you on a sandwich.
I do take pleasure in being compared to mayonnaise. I will always take that.
All right, Jack. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Love you.
Love you too. Have a good rest of your night.
Well.
Okay, bye. Stop drinking my freaking water. Oh my God. No, stop. Guys, I am so sorry that you guys had to deal with that. Jesus Christ. However, that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a hell of a rest of your night, and I'll catch you on Friday with a little bit of things that I like to call Elden Ring. I'll catch you guys later.